I was standing at my father's graveside, watching them lower the casket, when my phone buzzed. My wife had just texted me during the burial. What she wrote made my blood run cold, and by 4 a.m. that same night, she'd come home drunk to a completely empty house and divorce papers where her pillow used to be, the text said. Still at that depressing thing. Stop being so dramatic. He was old anyway. Coming home late, going clubbing with the girls. You need to get over this moping already. It's been 3 days. 3 days since my dad died of a sudden heart attack. 3 days. I'm 36 years old, and I've never felt rage like this before. My mom was sobbing into my shoulder when I read it. She saw my face change and asked what was wrong. I told her it was just work stuff. I typed back one word to my wife, Kendra, enjoy. Then I made a decision that had been building for months. This wasn't the first time she'd shown zero empathy. But disrespecting my father's funeral while they were literally putting him in the ground. That was the line she couldn't. UNCROSS. My cousin Pete was right there at the cemetery. He owns a moving company, and I pulled him aside to show him the text. His face went dark as he read it. That's messed up, bro. What do you need? I told him I wanted everything that was mine out of our house while she was out clubbing. Done, he said. The boys are actually free today. I was going to give them the day off for the funeral, but they need the hours. My mom tried to get me to come to the reception, but I made excuses about needing to handle Dad's paperwork immediately. She understood. Dad was always the handle business first type of man. By 2 in the afternoon, I was at the house with Pete and 4 of his crew members. I also had my brother-in-law Jerome on speakerphone. He's a lawyer, and he was getting emergency divorce papers ready while we worked. Here's the thing about Kendra. She never paid attention to what was actually mine versus hers versus ours. Most of our furniture I'd bought before marriage or inherited from my grandmother. The TV, gaming systems, kitchen appliances, all purchased by me with receipts in my name. Even her precious wine collection was stored in my wine fridge that I'd bought myself as a birthday present. The movers were surgical about it. My grandmother's dining set that Kendra always said was too old-fashioned anyway. The living room furniture I'd bought with my first work bonus. My entire home office, desk, chair, computer, monitors, everything. The bedroom set I'd bought before we got married. Every kitchen appliance except for her microwave. All my books, vinyl records, tools, the smart TV and entertainment system. Even the good towels, which had been wedding gifts from my side of the family. I left her clothes and makeup neatly piled in the corner, along with her microwave, that yogurt maker she'd used exactly once, the ugly couch her mom had given us, one folding chair from the garage, and all her photos and personal items. The pettiest part, I canceled all the utilities that were in my name effective the next day and changed the locks. The building manager was cool about it since the lease was only in my name anyway. I'd lived there 2 years before we got married. Jerome had the divorce papers ready by 4 o'clock. Uncontested divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Very generous terms. She gets her car that she's still making payments on, her personal belongings, and nothing else. No alimony since she actually makes more than me at her marketing job. I left the papers on her pillow, or rather, on the floor where her pillow would have been if I hadn't taken the bed. I also left a printed copy of her text message with a note. Enjoyed my evening handling my father's affairs. Your belongings are in the corner. Utilities end tomorrow. You have 30 days to move per lease requirements. Don't contact me except through lawyers. Then I went to my mom's house, and we looked through Dad's photos and cried together, like normal people do when they lose someone they love. 40-8 hours later, Kendra came stumbling home at 4:17 in the morning. The Ring doorbell still sends me notifications, and the video showed her trying her key 3 times before slowly realizing it didn't work anymore. You could see the confusion, then the panic, then her finding the lockbox with the new key I'd left for her. Jerome said I legally had to give her access for 30 days. The scream when she got inside woke up 3 neighbors. Mrs. Patterson actually called the cops, thinking someone was being murdered. At 6 a.m., the text messages started, 67 of them in 2 hours. The evolution was fascinating to watch. WTF? Where is everything? This isn't funny. Bring it back. You can't do this. I was joking about your dad. You're overreacting. I'm calling the police. The police told her it was a civil matter. Please answer me. You're being abusive. I'll destroy you in court. I called Jerome, and he just laughed. She can't destroy anything. No kids, short marriage. She makes $90,000 to your $70,000. And you have documented cruelty during a family death. The judge will laugh her out of court. Then came what Jerome calls the flying monkeys. Her mom, Dedra, called me, demanding to know how I could leave her baby with nothing. I told her Kendra had her belongings and a folding chair. You stole everything, she accused. I explained that I'd taken my property, premarital and inherited items, and I had all the receipts to prove it. Dedra tried a different angle. She was grieving too. Your father was like family to her, really. Which funeral home was she grieving at last night? Tequila Sunrise or Club Paradise? Her best friend Astrid called next, telling me I needed therapy and that this was psychotic behavior. I asked her, what was psychotic about texting? Stop being dramatic. He was old anyway, about someone's dead father during the actual burial. She said Kendra didn't mean it like that. I asked how she did mean it. You know, like stop being so sad at his funeral. Well, when you put it like that, goodbye, Astrid. But here's the best part about Kendra's job situation. She'd told her boss she needed 3 days off for a family emergency and even got bereavement leave because her father-in-law, who was like a father to her, had died. But remember that clubbing night? She posted everything on Instagram. Stories of shots, dancing on tables, making out with some random guy. The caption read, "Living my best life. Freedom Friday." Her coworker Heather follows her on social media. Heather, who had to cover Kendra's emergency workload and missed her own anniversary dinner to handle Kendra's Friday presentation. Heather saw everything, took screenshots, and sent them to their boss with the subject line, Kendra's family emergency Thursday night. Kendra didn't get fired, but she got written up and lost her quarterly bonus. $5,000 gone. She tried to contest the divorce filing, claiming she needed time to process the emotional trauma. The judge gave her 30 days to respond but wouldn't delay the initial filing. Week 2 brought nuclear-level entitlement. She tried to break back into the apartment while I was at work. I came home to find the door damaged and her inside, attempting to move my grandmother's china cabinet. This is still my home, for 18 more days, she argued when I confronted her. And breaking and entering is still a crime, I replied, showing her the ring footage of her literally using a crowbar on the door. She ran when I said the police were coming, leaving the crowbar behind. The cops took a report, but said since she technically still lived there, it was complicated. However, the property damage was definitely a crime. I didn't press charges, but documented everything. Then she got creative and filed a restraining order, claiming I was financially abusing her by taking all the furniture. The judge looked at my receipts and her $90,000 salary and threw it out immediately. But I still had to miss a day of work for court. Facebook posts about being abandoned by a narcissist during her time of grief. What grief? She literally posted club videos the night of the funeral. My dad's sister, Aunt Ruth, absolutely destroyed her in the comments. Grief. You left Bob's funeral saying you had diarrhea, then posted yourself doing tequila shots 2 hours later. We all saw it. You're lucky all he did was take his furniture. Bob would have haunted your disrespectful behind forever. The post was deleted within an hour. But here's where she really messed up. Remember that married guy she was making out with at the club? His wife found the videos through a mutual friend. Turns out his wife is a partner at Kendra's dream company, the one she'd been interviewing with for months. Guess whose final interview got mysteriously canceled? The rage texts that night were completely unhinged. You ruined my career. That job was mine. You must have called them. I'll sue you for interference. I didn't respond to any of it, just forwarded everything to Jerome. Then came what I call the extinction level stupid move. She tried to sell my dad's tools. I'd moved them from our place to Mom's garage, but Kendra knew where the spare key was hidden. She loaded up Dad's entire tool collection, including some vintage pieces from his father worth probably $15,000 total, and listed them on Facebook Marketplace. My uncle saw the listing and called me immediately. I drove over with the police this time. She was in the garage negotiating with some buyer when we arrived. Those are stolen property, I told the buyer, showing him the will that left everything to me and Dad's death certificate dated 2 weeks earlier. The buyer took off running. Kendra tried to play it off. I thought they were communal property. The cop wasn't having it. Ma'am, you're selling items from an estate that's still in probate. That's theft. He's my husband, so it's partly mine, she argued. Ex-husband, I corrected. An inheritance isn't marital property. She actually got arrested. Spent a night in jail before Deidre bailed her out. The charges were eventually dropped after Jerome negotiated that she'd sign the divorce papers immediately. But her employer found out about the arrest anyway. Another write-up. She was now 1 strike away from termination. By week 3, Kendra's world was crashing hard. She couldn't afford the $2,200 monthly rent alone. While she made more than me, she had insane spending habits, designer bags, weekly nail appointments, that sort of thing. Her solution was moving in with Deidre. But Mom had conditions. No overnight guests, no drinking, church every Sunday, and $600 monthly rent. Kendra lasted exactly 1 Sunday at church before getting caught on the security camera, sneaking out during service to smoke weed in the parking lot. The pastor called Deidre immediately. Meanwhile, my mom had been quietly devastating Kendra throughout our community. Mom's lived in our neighborhood for 40 years and knows everyone. She made sure everyone knew exactly what Kendra had texted during Dad's funeral. The family hairdresser refused to do Kendra's hair for an important work event. The local grocery store manager, who's in Mom's book club, was always mysteriously out of whatever wine Kendra wanted. At the gym, her keycards seemed to have technical issues every other day. Petty, maybe, but Mom was grieving and angry. Dad had been beloved in the community after coaching Little League for 20 years. Kendra's disrespect wasn't just toward me, it was toward his memory. Then Kendra made her final, catastrophically stupid move. She created a fake dating profile using my photos, my real name, and my actual job. But the bio read, "Recently divorced, looking for someone to take care of me financially. No fatties, must be willing to pay for everything. I have mommy issues, and daddy just died, so I'm emotionally unstable." A coworker's wife saw it, showed her husband, and he showed me. I was going to ignore it, but Jerome said absolutely not. This was defamation and identity theft. We filed a police report and sued her. Her lawyer, the cheapest one she could find, tried to argue it was satire. The judge wasn't amused, especially when we showed the messages she'd sent to women who matched with my profile, saying things like I have herpes and I'm actually married. Want to be my side piece? She was ordered to pay me $10,000 in damages, money she absolutely didn't have, 2 months after Dad's funeral. Here's where everyone ended up. The divorce was final. Kendra got fired from her job. The dating profile incident was the final straw. She's living in Deidre's basement, working part-time at a call center, and owes me $10,000 I'm garnishing from her wages. She posted about being a survivor of narcissistic abuse and got 3 likes total. Her new boyfriend dumped her when he Googled her name and found her arrest record. She tried starting a coaching business for women escaping toxic men but had 0 clients. She sent one last text message. "I hope you're happy. You destroyed my life over nothing." I replied. "You destroyed your own life. I just stopped cushioning your fall." Then I blocked her permanently. Dedra is stuck with Kendra indefinitely and had to put locks on her own bedroom door because Kendra kept borrowing money. Half of Kendra's social circle unfriended her after learning about the funeral text. When Kendra posted about supporting her daughter through abuse, the comments were just laughing emojis. The flying monkeys who'd initially defended her asked her to apologize after seeing the actual funeral message. Her remaining friends ghosted her when they learned the truth. Her former coworkers created a group chat specifically to share screenshots of her increasingly messy social media posts. As for me, I'm living in a nice 1-bedroom apartment closer to Mom. I'm seeing a therapist because grief is real, even without all the drama. Dad's tools are displayed prominently in my new place, and I think about him every time I use them. I actually got promoted at work. Turns out I was way less stressed without Kendra around. I started dating Rita from grief counseling. She gets it. Mom and I have dinner every Sunday now. Mom is still systematically devastating Kendra through pure community networking, and we started a memorial scholarship in Dad's name. Mom comes to grief counseling with me sometimes. She told me Dad would be proud of how I handled everything. She keeps a copy of the divorce papers framed in her craft room, which is absolutely savage. The last thing I heard through the grapevine was that Kendra tried to crash Dad's memorial baseball game that we hold annually now. The entire team formed a human wall to block her. The photos were beautiful. My uncle gave a speech about respecting the departed while staring directly at her the whole time. She left, crying. Do I feel bad about any of this? Not even a little. She texted he was old anyway while they were lowering my father into the ground. She went clubbing while my family mourned. She tried to sell his tools. She made fake profiles and attempted to destroy my reputation. All I did was take my furniture and leave papers where her pillow used to be. Everything else was just the universe giving her exactly what she deserved. Dad always said, "Son, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." I should have believed her the first time she complained about attending my grandmother's funeral because it conflicted with a spa day. But hey, better late than never. To everyone asking, yes, I kept the crowbar she used to break in. It's displayed right next to Dad's tools with a label that reads, Exhibit A in Why I'm Single and Happy. Rita thinks it's hilarious. Mom wants to have it bronzed